Hi, welcome to Inside the District. My name is Matt Mazzone, Superintendent of Schools, and hopefully you've been watching our monthly show where we're previewing every school in the district. So we are on the final school, and we have a special guest joining us today. So we're going to highlight Mount Pleasant Elementary School, and we have Mr. Harry Drew joining us. So welcome to the show, Mr. Drew.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
You saved the best for last, right?
That's it. Okay. That's what we were waiting on.
All right.
So
sounds good.
We're going to cover a lot today and hear about the great things that are happening at Mount Pleasant, right? It's always sunny at Mount Pleasant.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's always
that's how
pleasant
it
at
is.
Mount Pleasant, is what we say.
And you have a lot to do because of that. So, but before we do that, I think it's important that we unpack who you are as a leader. Take us through your experiences in Millville. Did you have the experiences prior to coming to Millville?
No, not in education. Let's start with Swedesboro. I grew up in Swedesboro, New Jersey.
All right, right next to me. Yeah.
Right. Went to Kingsway. Graduated from Kingsway many years ago. Went to Rowan University, which was Glassboro State at that time. Majored in communications. Always wanted to be a teacher, but ended up going into radio and then actually owning a Lincoln Mercury dealership here in Millville, Quality Lincoln Mercury.
All right, so you're saying dealership and also on the radio.
On the radio, before I got into education.
Oh, man.
Originally went to school to be a teacher. Again, going into radio and also going into owning the car dealership. About 26, 27 years ago, decided didn't want to do private sector anymore. I wanted to get into education and be a teacher. Applied to Millville as a substitute. Steve Burke at the time, who was assistant superintendent, interviewed me that day and said, I have a position for you at the academy class at Lakeside that had just opened up. So I started at Lakeside as the academy teacher, working with students academically and behavioral-wise. We're having some issues. You be a good role model to work with these students and get them to understand what they need to do in life to be successful. Started there, worked there 5 years as a teacher, became vice principal at Lakeside Middle School. After Lakeside Middle School, I became principal at R.D. Wood School. Yeah. And then I've been in the district 26 years this year in February. And
so many roles you've done.
Yeah, in the district.
But let's go back to, so you become a teacher.
Right.
Right? And then what made you, so you're teaching, what made you say, I want to go back and be an educational leader? What did that look like? Why did you pick that career
Because
path?
I always felt you need role models, and kids need to have experience about life. I think with my background and my experience, it shows students exactly what you need to do in life to be successful. So I felt, again, just being in education, having kids being able to see me every day in a suit and tie, something positive. And they could have conversations with me, and that's why I wanted to get in education. I wanted to make a difference. That, to me, was the most important thing.
Where did you get your master's degree at?
Gwinnett Mercy University.
Mercy. All right.
Yep.
Good. And, I always kid with you. Even at field day that we had last week, I was even taken back. You weren't in a suit and tie.
Yeah. And there's a funny story with that. A lot of the kids, they'll see me without a suit and tie on. They don't even recognize me.
Yeah.
Because they see me in that every day. So to me, that's important, though.
So my assistant, Vicki Charlesworth, because I'm always in a tie.
Yes.
And I showed up in our game day, Olympic day T-shirts, and she's like, that looks sloppy on you. I was like, what does that mean? Do I just need to wear a suit every single day? So
it looks professional.
It does, right?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Beautiful. Let's go back a little bit. Okay. So what were you doing with radio?
Actually, radio announcer, DJ, back in the days of disco and all that stuff, and did that for a number of years. Station WVLT, WWBZ, back in the day. Yeah.
Do you still DJ?
Every now and then, for weddings, parties, that type of thing.
I
but
love it.
The focus now is more on education. So,
right.
Yep.
And what was your name?
Dr. Harry Drew.
Dr. Drew.
That's where it came from, yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Like Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So now you were principal at R.D. Wood.
Correct.
Lot of passion with the Wood School.
Right. In that area, got a lot of passion, a lot of family involvement.
Yeah.
Same as Mount Pleasant now. It's family. It's about helping students, helping parents be successful, doing what they need to do academically and socially to be successful. So that's what we focused on.
And before we start talking about Mount Pleasant, why don't you tell us a little bit about your family? I know you're so proud of.
Yes, I am. I'm proud of my wonderful wife, Gwen, She's a registered nurse. She just retired officially 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
she was with Inspira for a number of years and also at Cooper in the trauma unit. So she's retired now. I have a daughter, Tia, who is a teacher at Kingsway. And she took some time off to have a couple of kids, 2 new grandkids.
Right, you have 2 grandchildren?
Yep, Kennedy, 2, and Maurice, who's 7 months.
Beautiful.
Started cutting teeth yesterday, so excited about being a grandparent and that time with them, that type of thing.
Right.
And also,
Wonderful.
Right.
So thanks for sharing that, Mr. Drew. So let's get it started. Let's talk about Mount Pleasant. So we'll start first with the vision statement.
Okay. All right, so basically our vision is to build and create a nurturing environment where all students learn. Our goal is to ensure that all students excel academically and socially and have the skills to be successful in a global society.
And we'll keep going as we go from the mission. And you can summarize this a little bit.
Yeah, again, every student has the opportunity to develop skills and knowledge. These 2 things, vision and mission statement, probably about 2-3 years ago, we got together with teachers and staff and parents, and we wrote the vision and the mission statement. Very important to us that we meet the goals of making sure our kids are educated, but we also understand how socially we need to be able to work with students and make sure they're getting what they need to understand what they need to do in society to be successful.
Right.
Very important.
Beautiful. And then, as you were sharing some of these slides, and there's a lot of them that we're going to go through, I'm curious about the Panther 100 Club.
Okay. One thing about Mount Pleasant, and if you see the Panther 100 Club, we believe in students being responsible for themselves. So you see to be honest, be helpful, be ready, be safe, be kind, good sportsmanship, being respectful, being responsible. We try to drill into students every day the importance of these things. Education, I understand, is important, the language arts, the math, those types of things, but the social skills. So we do a lot of things at Mount Pleasant to make sure that our students understand what they need to do socially to be productive members of society. So very important. We do Student Appreciation Day, which is coming up the end of the last day of school. And again, it's just our way of giving back to the students for showing that kind of respect and having no issues during the school day, being in the classroom and focusing on education.
Yeah, what's it going to look like for that Student Appreciation Day?
It's a fun day for the kids. They go outside. We have 2 gaming trucks coming out.
Yeah,
we have ice cream and pizza and soda and games and water games they can play and all. So it's just a good day to have at the end of the school year to keep them happy and show that we appreciate them doing what they need to do, even with testing, that they spend the time and do testing well and focus on what they need to do.
And you don't just stop there of how you're celebrating the students weekly, daily. You also do that with your staff. Yeah. So, when I started as assistant superintendent, I learned quickly that you buy lunch for the staff every Friday.
Every Friday. It's my thing.
Yeah.
I feel this way. You work Monday through Thursday real hard. You're doing what you need to do as a teacher and a staff member. Friday, let's take a little setback, a little time. I also buy pizza on one Friday. This week it's Friday pizza, and then we do next Friday it'll be Jersey Jerry subs. So,
Jersey Jerry.
Yeah.
And today was what, S&J?
S&J.
Yeah.
And you heard me make the phone call to S&J before we started to order the pizza, so I'll pick it up once we leave here.
And I did pressure the other principals. I was like, Mr. Drew is buying his staff lunch every Friday. I need you guys to pick it up a little bit. I don't know if they jumped on board with that yet.
I don't think so, but that's fine. It's fine. Again, my staff.
Be a role model for all of them.
That's all it is.
Good stuff. And then let's go with talking about the motto at the school. So you got that vision statement, mission, but the motto is what every day we can speak on.
Right. The Mount Pleasant way to be. When I first came to Mount Pleasant 4 years ago, when the principal there retired, I always heard the Mount Pleasant way. We do things a certain way at Mount Pleasant. It's about respect. It's about coming to school every day. We call our students up if they don't show up for school. We want you in the building every day. But we have a way of doing business at Mount Pleasant that we just constantly talk about. A little different maybe than another school in the district, but we want to make sure that our kids know exactly what's expected, the Mount Pleasant way when they come through the door.
I like that. And so you're building upon the other principals that were sitting in that seat before.
Yes.
I know there's some good ones.
Yeah.
What happened in your life? Like, what are some of those experiences that have led you? Because you speak from a different way. So you want people to be present. You want to celebrate. You show a lot of love to just not only students but also staff. So like, what was that like that drives that force in you?
I think it came on from my parents.
Okay.
Their attitude was education's the equalizer. Get an education no matter what. You want to be a rap star or an artist or something like that, that's fine. But get that education. I just try to instill in kids the importance of education, coming in every day with the attitude that you're here to learn and get through the school day and be successful. Right. Yep.
And you carry yourself in a very high level of respect.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And it's all throughout the school, even how the kids move throughout every day.
Yeah.
So, good stuff.
Yep.
Let's talk about the history of the school.
Okay.
So you can see here. So dedicated in 1954. You can see a picture up there, and it opened. Always interesting, some of these fun facts. So it opened after winter break. You know, we had Holly Heights on here, and that was interesting how they opened up. So they were supposed to start in early September, just like anything, like a new school year. But then they had an accident at this school. Someone decided to pour concrete in the air conditioners.
Okay.
So some serious vandalism.
Okay, that could
right?
be it.
So again, there was always there was a pause before the school could open. Same with Silver Run. There was a lot of delays.
Okay.
So they did not open up on time. But open up after winter break, and it started with how many classes was it? So it started with 7 and expanded to 10.
Right.
And is that what you're running right now?
We have 12 classrooms, 2 per grade level.
Yeah. And around 200 students.
Yeah, right around 200 students. Total staff, I did a count this morning, it was roughly 31 staff, including teachers and support staff.
Okay.
Yeah, so nice small school, 200 kids. It's 200. Manageable and
200. I was a principal of a school with 200.
Okay, yeah.
It was a nice
It's
work.
manageable, yeah, very much so.
Yeah. And you know, Mount Pleasant, they like to tout that that their students achieve one of the highest around. I'm not going to say the highest because Rick Avenue is watching as well. Again, Rick Avenue likes to claim top honors too. But you can
all the other schools are doing the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
We're just making sure students have what they need to be successful when it comes to the state testing. Again, Mount Pleasant is one of the top schools when it comes to where our assessments are for language arts, math, and science. But again, it's our teachers, it's our staff, even with the custodians. It's what they do every day to make sure that building's ready, that pride, that Panther pride, to make sure our building's ready every day for those kids when they come in the door.
And I was going to wear, so you must have just sent me a Panther Pride T-shirt. I was going to wear it today. Yes. So thank you so much for that shirt.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, but I love it. You speak Panther Pride.
And that's what it's about. Yep.
And staying on the instructional, looking at student achievement, one of the big nights that you had was Family Reading Night.
Yes. Our involvement with parents coming into the building, we have open door policy. We want parents in the building to see what we're doing. Right. We had Family Reading Night where the parents came in. They could take books home with them, which is important. But to have that time with these parents to sit there and read with their child or their child read to them, just very important. And that was a great night. A lot of parents showed up, a lot of kids showed up. We had pizza and soda for them. But again, just another night to come in and enjoy Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, and it speaks, so you speak of Family First, but also I know Nancy Gandy took a huge part in that.
Yeah,
in the family
our
reading,
coach, yes.
Literacy coach, and then she even has high school students helping out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she does a great job for us. I know she's retiring in the next probably September, October, but again, her involvement with our school when it comes to literacy has been valuable, very valuable.
And then another big event that you had was Deck the Desk.
Yes.
So during Christmas time.
Yeah, let me expound on that just a little bit. Again, it's something where, again, parents come in, as you can see, and they're going into the classrooms and they spend an hour and a half in there decorating the desk of the students in the classroom for the holidays. So just something to have them in the building, spend some time with their children, take pictures, the memories, those types of things, very important at Mount Pleasant.
Right. And I know the next one we did talk about the staff commitment, constantly pouring into your staff. And you have a very sustainable staff, so you don't have a lot of movement in there.
One thing I can say about Mount Pleasant, When teachers are there, they're there to stay.
Yeah.
The average is 15 to 18 years as far as time in the building.
Great.
When they go, 99.9% of the time it's because it's time to retire. And they're retiring with 25, 30, 35 years. So they're a part of a family. They want to be there.
Yeah.
They understand the school. My commitment as a principal is to make your job as easy as possible. So they want to be there.
Right. And why don't you shout out some of your staff, I know, so that work closely with you, so your office.
Well, my office staff, Mr. Davidson, Mrs. Cox, they're my backbone.
Yeah.
People say you're a principal. You're not a principal unless you have two good staff members.
Yeah, you're only as good as your team.
Right, in that main office, the building staff, everyone that's involved with that building that comes in there every day, they do a great job. And again, I appreciate what they do, their commitment and their dedication to Millville and to Mount Pleasant.
Beautiful. The next slide that we have, I was able to go to back to school night, and we took a nice picture. You can see that up there.
Number one.
There it is.
That's Millville.
Yeah.
So again, our back to school night is our time, and every school in the district does this probably the first couple weeks of school. Again, just have the parent come back to the school, spend time in the classrooms, tour the building, be able to ask questions of staff and also special teachers, math, music, those types of programs, ask questions about things that they want to know about here at Mount Pleasant. And
then one thing that we didn't touch on was your involvement with the Millville Police Athletic League. So tell me where that was born from. So you did talk about Steve Burke.
Yeah. Steve Burke, 15, 20 years ago, came up to me and said, look, I want you on the power board. I want you involved with kids. You're doing a good job in the building, but let's do something outside of the building. So he asked me to be on the power board. It's near and dear to my heart, the involvement with the Millville Police Department. I like police officers to be seen in a positive light. When they come into the building to have lunch with the kids, they're at the events, they get to see them in a different light. They're laughing, joking with them, playing basketball. To me, it's very important. We have PAL activities at least once a month where they can come in, spend time with the kids. The kids love it. The parents can come out. Yeah. We have karate now. We've been doing now for the last 5 weeks on Tuesdays. The parents are there. The police officers are there. It's just a fun time for everyone to come together and just enjoy themselves.
Right. And I believe it's the 24th. You have a trip set up, I believe, Cape May Zoo?
Yeah, Cape May Zoo. We've been doing that for the last 15 years. We take the kids down to Cape May Zoo. We leave around 9:30 in the morning. We go down. We cook a barbecue for them while they're there visiting the zoo. When they come back, they sit and eat with us. It's just a fun day. And we invite the parents to come down and spend time with them also. Yeah, so that's coming up June 24th.
And then I know you have any other events during the summertime?
Play Streets. It's on a Wednesday. Yeah. It's every Wednesday. Right by the church on 2nd Street, where every Wednesday from 9 to 1 o'clock, we're able to have kids come out. Fire department's there, the Millville Police are there, PAL's there, just to have some fun activities, give the kids something to do on a Wednesday.
Well, Mr. Drew, I appreciate all your involvement, not just with the school, but also with Millville PAL. So a lot of great stuff. Good. Now, we're going to talk about Olympic Day. So I know you tout the Panthers and their academic instruction. You catch a lot of heat during Olympic Day. So you come in like the 81st Airborne. Yeah. So you have a small number showing up going against the 4 other elementaries. But this year, the first race, who won that first race?
Right here.
That's it.
Mount Pleasant. We
Mount
did it.
Pleasant.
And the kids love it. I mean, it's a fun day. I just love the fact that we're able to go out and march. Yeah. We have the 4th and 5th grades participate in Olympic Day, but K, 1, 2, and 3. They line the parade route on High Street. They're able to go out there and cheer the kids on. It's just a fun day. And the kids get to hang out, be outside versus being in the house on a video game. It's just a fun event that I enjoy, and I'm sure by these videos you can see in the pictures that these kids enjoy being outside also.
That's great. Great stuff. So, Mr. Drew, thank you so much for the first segment. We're just starting, right? Okay. So next we're going to have Mrs. Finch come on, and she's a kindergarten extraordinaire teacher.
Yeah, great teacher.
A lot of great things that she's going to share. But we do appreciate all the things that you're doing at Mount Pleasant, and we look forward to many more years. Okay. I need you staying here. You're doing a great job.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. So please come back, and we're going to have Mrs. Finch. Thank you.
Family-owned, service-oriented. Since 1960, Allen Associates has been a leader in insurance and financial services. We provide insurance services to roughly 300 groups, ranging from 2 to several thousand lives in the private and public sectors. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve.
Allen Associates is the place to see. One-stop service, the best that can be. Whether finance, insurance, health, or medical, Allen Associates will make life so practical.
Call Allen Associates today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services in Vineland, New Jersey.
Hello, my name is Craig Atkinson, and I am president of the Millville Thunderbolt Club. The mission of the Thunderbolt Club is to enhance the athletic experience of Millville High School student athletes. We provide a myriad of services for these athletes, including end-of-year recognition banquets for all teams, stipends for teams and individual athletes, college scholarships of $35,000 per year, meals for special events, as well as hosting the Mike Trout Millville Thunderbolt Club Golf Tournament and the Millville Sports Hall of Fame. Please visit our website at millvillethunderboltclub.com for additional information.
Welcome back to Inside the District. My name is Matt Mazzone, Superintendent of Schools right here in Millville. And in the first segment, we highlighted all the great things happening in Mount Pleasant along with Principal Mr. Drew. Now, as we come back for the second segment, we have a special teacher joining us, and that is Miss Jen Finch. So welcome to the show, Miss Finch. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, lot of great things. You know, I've been in year 3 in the district. I still remember you were on the hiring committee.
I was.
So I'm not going to question you on that one. Hopefully it was good.
It was.
But, you know, I've been in your room and everyone talks about the great things you're doing. You're a kindergarten teacher. How many years have you been teaching kindergarten?
This is my 20th year in kindergarten.
20th year.
Yep. Always at Mount Pleasant.
Oh, at Mount Pleasant. And before we even get to the things happening in your room, take us to your background. Where'd you grow up?
Okay. Yeah. So I grew up in Millville. I am one of 6 girls, the oldest of 6 girls. We were all, went through Millville High School. A lot of my sisters and my mom have worked for Millville Public Schools. So, you know, we have deep roots here. We
sure do. Love
raise
your
our
mom.
kids here.
We got to get your mom back here.
Yeah. She's
she
enjoying retirement.
She is enjoying it?
Not quite yet. Maybe in a year or 2, but yeah.
Yeah, Terry Davis does a great job. She was at Holly Heights.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I have 4 little girls, and they're little, and they're close. Even my wife this morning, she's like, they have to stop bickering. Why do they bicker? I was like, to my wife, I said, well, Kate, you didn't grow up with any sisters. So there's 4 of them. So I can only imagine with 6. Even though it might be bickering, I imagine they're your best friends as well.
We are best friends now. But yes, growing up, I mean, we would hide our clothes. We'd go lock them in the trunk of the car once we were 17.
Stop.
So, you know, sister couldn't get it.
And then the $1 million question, how many bathrooms did you have in the house?
Oh, my goodness, 1.
1 bathroom.
We would sign
6.
up for bathroom times on Sunday night for that week so that we could get our time.
You had
We had a sign up for, yes, we
See,
did.
this is, and I'm asking, like, I'm going to take this back to our house.
Yeah, and then say, look how good you have it. You could have.
This was your mom's work?
Yes.
That is definitely
She was very
your mom.
organized.
Organized.
It was like a well-oiled machine.
Right.
So.
That's so great. And then with that, take me through, so you go through Millville schools. What was that deciding factor of why you chose education as a career path?
Well, I always knew I wanted to do it. Even when I was in high school, I worked the Latchkey program at Silver Run School.
Okay.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Went to college at York College of Pennsylvania. I would come home in the summers and work at the Child Family Center during their wraparound program that they have there. So I spent time there. And then it's just something I knew I always wanted to do. I always wanted to work with kids and be a teacher.
Okay.
Especially the early elementary.
I like the question of why did you choose York? What was that deciding factor? What were some of the other schools in there?
Honestly, price. Yeah, It was very reasonable. And a lot of Millville people did go to York College back in, 2000.
Okay.
So it was, I don't know, a lot of Millville people decided to go there.
So you were going on that career path.
Yes.
No Rowan University, though.
No.
I was at Rowan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a little further, I think.
Okay. And then some fun facts about you. So, let's first talk about your family. I'm sure that's a huge piece of your world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 boys, one about to be 18 next week. I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
Another who's 13 in middle school. My husband, Matt, he and I have known each other since 7th grade. He also grew up in Millville. We went through high school together. We were best friends. He owns a construction business in Millville, actually employs the student graduated a couple years ago from Millville High School and now works for him. So it's fun to see, some of our high school kids from Millville now going into that field.
Why don't we give your husband's business a plug here?
Oh, it's Cousins Construction.
Cousins Construction.
Yes.
All right. And then we probably need to get him involved with the CTE program.
That would be amazing,
Yeah,
yes.
at the high school. Yeah, that would be great. And I know I've read that you're a big runner. You enjoy running.
I do.
And I've spoken to Mr. Drew about running as well, because I know that you've done
I do 5Ks.
5Ks with your daughter,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your race?
I can do 3 miles in under 24 minutes if it's a good day.
So you run pretty fast.
I do.
Can you beat your husband?
Oh yes.
You do?
Yeah. Now my 18-year-old, he's like a gazelle. No,
Is
I
it?
cannot beat him. Yeah.
Do you have any 5Ks that you're doing? Or is
Funny story, I just do it for myself. I don't do 5Ks. I did one back when I was in college. I did the Holly Jolly Run.
Yeah.
And I tripped over my pant leg and fell. And the people on the side were throwing candy at me. So it was really embarrassing. And I decided I was never going to do another race.
So you do your own 3
I
milers.
do my own thing, yes.
I think maybe we need to get a 5K in Millville soon.
That would be fun.
we do. So is it the Holly Jolly Run
Holly
that
Jolly.
is day after Thanksgiving? And that race to me is a little. I'm fearful of it for the reason the 1 mile race. That's a fast race.
It is.
Yeah. So I think that's the hardest race. So 5K is hard, but a 1 mile is a really fast race.
That's quick.
So take me through. Before we get that, so soccer is a big part of your family?
My oldest one is very invested in soccer.
Who's he play for?
He plays for Millville.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been on the Millville varsity soccer team since his freshman year. Next year, he'll be a senior, so it'll be his last year.
Yeah.
It's hard to see that come to an end, but yeah.
Is he looking to play at college?
He's not quite sure yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did that look like? Because right now, my wife and I were going through is it rec soccer, or do we sign up for the travel teams?
And he's doing the travel, so
Yeah.
it's our whole life. But
It's
I love
travel.
every minute of
You
it.
do?
I'm
Great.
gonna
And
miss
how
it.
about your youngest son?
He's into baseball. He's hoping to play for Millville baseball team when he gets to high school. But that's a whole nother, always on the go.
Good stuff. So thank you for sharing that about your family. So now let's shift to the classroom. And before we do that, why don't you tell us about your supports in that room? So I know you have some staff, and one was just with huge accolades.
I've worked with 2 paraprofessionals my time at Mount Pleasant. My first one, Mrs. Udalavis, absolutely amazing. I learned a lot from her coming in, fresh out of college, just having that role model. She was amazing, can't say enough about her. And then I was lucky enough to get another amazing para, Jared Kinlaw, who went all through Millville himself. And funny story, we recently figured out that he was in preschool when I was coming home from college to work at the preschool. He was a student.
A student.
And I asked him, can you pull up a picture? Can I see what you looked like when you were around 4? And he did. And it's just full circle moment.
Did he pull a picture of you back then?
No, we couldn't find one
No?
of him and I together.
No.
But I said, oh my gosh, it's you. I remember. So.
And it speaks volumes about Mount Pleasant. So, Mr. Drew, you said the average tenure of a staff member?
15 to 18 years.
And right here's a perfect example. So you've only, in 20-some years, you've had only 2 paras.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing ones.
Yeah. So kindergarten world is a beautiful world.
It is.
Yeah. And with that, you have a passion for literacy and reading.
I do. It's my thing. I absolutely love it. I'm a strong believer in it's not a curriculum or a program that teaches the kids,
Right.
it is the teacher. And I just think it's so important to constantly be staying up to date on what are the best practices, what does the science say, be willing to make changes when you know there's a better way to do something. And I just believe very strongly in.
Yeah, and you've also have taken yourself out of the classroom on many different times and led professional development in the district. So why don't you speak on what were some of those things that you led?
Okay, so recently I did a couple of workshops for teachers on differentiating centers based on phonics skills, and just kind of showed teachers different ways that they can be all learning the same way, but you're teaching kids different skills based on what their needs are. So it was exciting. I was a little nervous to do it, but I feel like I got my feet wet and I really enjoyed it.
And what do you think we may, because one of the things that we have to constantly push, we have staff, new staff, they're always coming in. It's really important that they're trained well. Like you said, we know that the number one indicator to student success is the teacher. It's not a program. So how do we make sure that we're pouring into teachers with that professional development? Do you have any suggestions that we should be doing better, putting our focus?
I think just giving them that support of somebody coming in, like, hey, what do you need? Do you want something modeled? Do you want to come in and watch? Like, just giving them that time and opportunity to go in and seek out help from people who have done it for a long time. Which, like I said, my para, I learned a ton from her coming in fresh out of college. So just giving them that support and that time, from seasoned teachers.
Right, and I know you spoke about Mr. Kinlaw. So, I mean, he also, within your class, I believe, is he doing your foundations lessons as well?
Yes, we break into two teams. He'll take a group and I take a group. We're team teaching at the same time. He's going to school for education and he is going to be a phenomenal teacher. So he's a teacher. If you walked into the classroom, I'm not quite sure you would know who the teacher and who the para were.
I saw it, and that's the model. So we have to make sure we're doing that across our 20-some kindergarten classrooms.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm going to rely on you for that. That's good. Along with the literacy and reading, I know you play an active role in the INRS team. So we in education, we love acronyms, and you can know INRS means Intervention Referral Services.
So I've been on that team for 15 years. It's just such an important team, I feel, to be on. I enjoy being able to look at data, figure out, what students are struggling, where are they struggling, brainstorm with colleagues to try to figure out how we can kind of bridge those gaps and help those kids make those gains. It's
Perfect. And then also, I know you've been very vocal with the standards-based report card. So where did you get that model from? Were you the champion of that move in the district?
There was a couple of us. It was actually myself and Robin Ravel back when she was a kindergarten teacher. We had started to revamp the kindergarten report card. It just gives the parents a lot more information about what exactly is my child doing well in and what do they need a little more help in. So, for example, instead of getting 1 grade for reading, it's okay, well, what exactly in reading is my child struggling with? The standards-based report card it gives a ton of information to parents and to teachers. So,
And so again, you were one of those champions that brought that standards base to kindergarten. What are some of those other things that you would like to see at the elementary? Because you are an advocate. I know that you're up to date on the research. So what are some of those other areas you'd like to see us move the district forward in?
Definitely science of reading-based strategies, I think, is just so important. Kind of finding a way where we can take the programs that we use and mesh them together so that they are based in the science, and these kids are getting the foundational skills they need in order to be successful readers once they come to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, where the goal is to be able to read in order to learn. You know what I mean? It's just, we got to build that strong foundation early.
And with the ERLA, we are seeing the percentage of students that are reading on grade level. So we are progress monitoring every single day. But the ERLA is just a piece of what we're doing. So also Foundations is a Wilson-based program. So you're doing every single day.
So we do phonics for Foundations. And then Hagerty was recently brought in at kindergarten to tackle that phonemic awareness, which is so important. So that's an awesome program that we brought in.
And a lot of people will say, I can't believe how long you're teaching that ELA block, right? But I know that it's not where the students in kindergarten, they're not just sitting in an ELA block. So it's not that traditional setting.
not
so
at
what
all.
does that classroom setting look like, and how you infuse fun, hands-on learning in that ELA block? What does that look like?
So when they start, we break up into those two phonics groups. My 8 is doing one, I'm doing another. And then we go into our literacy-based centers. So we're really fine-tuning, like, what is it that this child needs and what do they need to grow, but doing it in a fun way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're, writing the words in sand. They're pushing out sounds with Play-Doh. They're walking around the room, finding words around the room that they want to write, marking it up to be a detective. Just really fun things to get them excited about it, and then also make sure that we're, honing in on what exactly does this child need to move forward in their reading progress.
Yeah. And again, I'm just smiling because I've seen that in action. So, thank you for everything that you do in this district. That's why you're on this show. You are exemplar
job.
staff member.
Does a great job.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you.
sure
Yeah.
does. So I look forward to growing with you in where we're moving the district. So you are a big part of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I'm going to lean on you for a lot of that. So that is all we have. So thank you to Ms. Finch. Also, thank you to Mr. Drew for highlighting the great things that are happening at Mount Pleasant every single day. So hopefully everyone enjoyed it. We're going to come back for the third segment, and we're going to do district updates. Thank you.
Family owned, service oriented. Since 1960, Allen Associates has been a leader in insurance and financial services. We provide insurance services to roughly 300 groups, ranging from 2 to several thousand lives in the private and public sectors. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve.
Allen Associates is the place to see. One-stop service, the best that can be. Whether finance, insurance, health or medical, Allen Associates will make life so practical.
Call Allen Associates today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services in Vineland, New Jersey.
Hello, my name is Craig Atkinson, and I am president of the Millville Thunderbolt Club. The mission of the Thunderbolt Club is to enhance the athletic experience of Millville High School student athletes. We provide a myriad of services for these athletes, including end-of-year recognition banquets for all teams, stipends for teams and individual athletes, college scholarships of $35,000 per year, meals for special events, as well as hosting the Mike Trout Millville Thunderbolt Club Golf Tournament and the Millville Sports Hall of Fame. Please visit our website at millvillethunderboltclub.com for additional information.
Welcome back to Inside the District. I'm Matt Mazzone, Superintendent of Schools. Now, for the final segment, we were going to do district updates, and we sure have a lot of them as we're getting ready to wrap up the school year. So first foremost, we just celebrated the 48th annual Olympic Day that happened last Friday, May 23rd. And it was a great one. It was a beautiful day. Thank you to everyone who assisted, from the Millville Police Department to getting our staff and students to Wheaton Field safely. Also to Mr. Lagamba and all the physical education teachers. Did a great job in all the events. And, of course, we got to celebrate the students as they participated in many different activities on the day. And you won't believe it. The day ended in a tie. All 5 elementary schools ended in a tie. So, again, it's all about camaraderie, students doing the best that they possibly can and having fun with it. So, great stuff happening. Also, another year-end events, and we have a lot going starting in June. So we have the High School Athletic Scholarship Awards Banquet on the 1st, and then the next day we're following with the Honors Assembly at the high school. And you can see some of our concerts coming up. And then on June 12th, you have the high school top 10 luncheon. So looking forward to that event. Also more events. So you can see our 5th grade step up activities, and you can see they start on June 16th and they wrap up on June 19th, as with all of our other elementaries, and along with Lakeside as they do their 8th grade step up ceremony. Then our last 4 days of the school year are going to be early dismissal days. So we're now building in 4 days. And you can see on there, Friday, June 20th is not on there. Why? Because we are celebrating Juneteenth. So the district is closed. Therefore, we're coming back on Monday, June 23rd as the last day of school. And when I say last day of school, what else does that trigger? That triggers graduation. And then it takes us to the big day, Monday, June 23rd. Our seniors are graduating at Wheaton Field. Just a reminder that this is tickets only. And if you don't have a ticket and you cannot make the event, we are partnering with Quinn once again, as they will have a stream going for our live stream for our graduation. So we're so fortunate to have Quinn Broadcasting once again doing a live stream for the event. So thank you. And that wraps up all of our end of the year activities. And just, I hope everyone enjoyed our Inside the District. We did something different. We wanted to celebrate our schools and who's driving the celebrations and the successes in the school. And that's the principal and the teacher. So thank you to all that participated the entire year. And we look forward to coming back. We're probably going to kick off a summer program where the summer we'll take a snapshot of all the sports that are starting in the fall. We'll have the coaches on. We'll have fun with that. But then also get back into celebrating the schools as well for the 25-26 school year. But again, I want to thank you for a great school year. Thank you for all the community, for your support and all the great things that are happening in Millville Public Schools. Thank you and have a great one. Go Bolts.
The preceding program was produced by the Millville Public School System in conjunction with Quinn Broadcasting and is available on Facebook, YouTube, and Channel 22.